Alex Evans, welcome to Unite Monaco.
Thank you.
You just announced the launch of Edelcoin and
Yes.
promising to radically change the world of traditional finance and the universal digital currency. What is so
Yes.
special and what is the ideology behind?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having us. This has been an amazing time. Monaco is beautiful. I just came from Miami, then I was in London for a couple of weeks in the hustle and bustle of the city, and I just love relaxing here and enjoying everything that was around. So thank you very much. We had a great time.
You're welcome.
So the question,
How about the coin? Because look,
yes,
I'm holding now the first
this is
real.
Edelcoin. That's right.
Yeah.
99.999% pure copper. So it's very valuable, and it will be tied to an NFC once we get launched. So it's going to become more valuable as one of the original Edelcoins.
Of course, we
Yeah.
can't wait.
Oh
So
yeah.
tell us more about this coin.
So how are we going to revolutionize the industry? There are a lot of solutions out there already. There are a lot of stable coins out there already. Some are tied to value, some aren't. Um, what we are trying to do is we've had years and years, decades of experience in mining actual gold and precious metals. So I'm sure you know of cryptocurrency mining and so on, but we are combining a cryptocurrency with actual mining, actual real world rare earth mining. So that's very interesting and such. I think we do have a massive advantage because we already have $53 billion of precious metals locked away in Swiss vaults that are fully verified and that we can use with for this cryptocurrency. So our currency, and that's I guess the revolutionary part of it, it's not so much as it's never been done. What we're doing is we're combining traditional aspects of financial means to a new form of payment, which is cryptocurrency. So we're taking the best of both worlds and making it really easy for people to say, listen, we want to get into crypto, but we don't know how to do it because it's so new and volatile and scary. We're like, well, look at this. We're going to create something that you already know because you've done it for a long time. And the cryptocurrency on top is just going to be a mean of payment for it.
But it has to do a lot with the funding companies. Can you tell us
Yes.
about
Yes, absolutely.
this?
So our why we're doing this. Oh, that's a good question. So Andreas was approached by Google and Microsoft in 2002, I believe, or 2004. That 2004, and they were willing to buy him out, buy Swiss cows out, buy his all the companies out because they had already created, um, not nanotech. I'm sorry, they'd already created artificial intelligence projects with neurotech. That's what I was looking for. And it became very interesting, and they wanted to buy him out. But because he already could see where they were going and the shady paths that they were going down, he refused. He respectfully declined, and it was billions of dollars that he just walked away from because he said we don't want to steal users' data, we don't want to sell users' data, we don't want to ignore security breaches and make it unsafe for somebody to use the web. We want to create a safe haven environment where people can be free and uncontrolled and especially uncensored. So, as I'm sure you know, for the past 2 years, we've seen so many human rights issues where the internet, where big tech just censors you. It just says, okay, you're out, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. So we said we're not going to do that, and especially we won't do it if a government asks us. Why? Because we can't. And that's the beauty of Swiss cows and Teleguard is that we don't have the data. We don't store it. It's deleted right away. So we can't give it to anybody. So
That's
that's
great.
yeah.
You were also mentioning cryptocurrency in the form of a stable coin.
Yes.
What's the secret behind this idea? Why is
Yes.
Edelcoin a stable coin?
Also, a very good question. So I'm sure you know that the U.S. dollar, which is the world currency right now, is completely inflated. We we were joking because they've printed something somewhere between $6 and $15 trillion. Nobody really knows, but I think it's around 6 or 8. So we were kind of joking, and we said if Christopher Columbus, when he arrived in 1492 to which wasn't America, it was actually the Bahamas, which is funny. But let's just pretend he arrived in America, and he would have got off his boat, started a massive fire, and taking $200,000 and just dumped it on the fire every 10 minutes. $200,000, burn, burn, every 10 minutes up until this very day. He still would have had more money than than the US government printed and caused massive inflation. So it's crazy to think about how much money has been wasted. Removed, partly, this is one of the reasons, it was removed from the gold standard. So we are bringing that back. We are bringing the gold standard back, literally, with gold. So, and that's only part of it. There's a lot of other precious metals that we use that, of course, fluctuate, but because of how we have calculated the economics of it, it will always be pegged to one, which is wonderful. Yes.
It is. And why should the investor should start looking at Edelcoin?
So we believe that cryptocurrency is the future, and I think everybody's starting to see that. It's still very scary because it's very volatile. There's a lot of projects out there that just don't make it. Besides all the scam coins and pump and dump tokens, just like Terra Luna, right? It was set to be one of the major projects of the next 10, 20, 50 years. And because of human error and, well, let's say he was prideful, it failed. And he had the warnings beforehand, and it was public. They told him if you need $1 billion, that's all you need. And you can create a so-called death spiral where his algorithm would become shaking and trying to stabilize the currencies with each other and create that death spiral and basically ruin the project. He didn't listen, even though he was warned publicly, and that's exactly what happened. So to get back to the point, we are creating, because we are using traditional assets long, as long as the earth has been around, these metals have been around, we know their value, we know what they're worth. We're using that to make it easier for traditional investors to get in, to say, hey, I know this already. One of the things that I've heard a lot on this boat particularly is there's people with massive amounts of wealth. And they're like, we want to get in. We see it's the future, but we don't know how yet. And we're scared because we don't want to lose any money. We're not here to make a quick buck, right? We don't want to lose the money we already have. So we're saying with this product, you won't. It's going to be very easy. It's going to be very transparent. Everything is verified by third parties, by governments. It's very clear what you're going to get. And you'll be able to make profits anyways and remove the volatility.
And when Edelcoin will be available for the open market?
So right now we are building a platform. We are looking for investors. We are looking to raise $1 billion. And you might ask, well, if you have so much money, why do you still need? It's about adoption. So we believe people that are invested into a project, they stick around. They're like, yeah, those are my guys. I want to be part of that. And those people, when they see that, like, will continue to tell their friends about it, thus keeping the project going. If we just take the money, create the stablecoin, we might have a couple banks involved, but we won't get that adoption that we need. So we're going high, we're going big, and we do. Our main goal is for this to become a global currency that is legal tender in the countries that we are working with right now, that is globally traded, and that is easy accessible for anybody from traditional finance, from accredited investors, all the way down to the little guy with the little app on his phone that can get, his food the next day.
Why is Edelcoin so unique?
So I think it's unique because it can be the Robin to the Batman of Bitcoin. You remember Batman and Robin?
Yeah, of course.
So exactly. So you know how Bitcoin is being accepted in Venezuela right now as legal tender. That's amazing. We're making massive progress to create digital currency where people are not tied to banks. They're not tied to middlemen. They can send currency with each other right away. But it's volatile. It still will be for a long time. So the little guy in Venezuela, he gets $10, right? The next day he might wake up and that's only $8. That's a lot of money for him, right? So we want to create a partner that's stable, that's just as accessible, just as usable, but something that you can use that doesn't fluctuate just as much as Bitcoin does. So
Alex, thank you and the team for choosing Unite Monaco for launching
Yes,
Edelcoin.
definitely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.